Did you ever wonder what it's like to have a billionaire dad, a fast car, and the weight of an entire F1 team on your shoulders? Well, Lance Stroll certainly knows. Today, we're diving into the 10 things Lance Stroll wishes he knew before he started racing. And trust me, some of these will blow your mind. From the highs of F1 podiums to the lows of being constantly called a pay driver, Lance's career has been full of surprises. Whether you're a die-hard F1 fan or just here for the drama, stick around for insights that even he probably didn't expect. Ready? Let's get into it. Number 10. Money can't buy respect. If there's one lesson Lance Stroll learned the hard way, it's that money can buy you an F1 seat, but it sure can't buy you respect. From the moment he entered Formula One, the pay driver tag stuck like glue. His father, Lance Stroll, invested hundreds of millions into both Williams and Aston Martin, essentially paving Lance's way into the sport. But while money got him a seat, it also painted a target on his back. F1 is notorious for being an elitist sport, but even in those circles, there's an unspoken rule. You earn your place through raw talent, not bank accounts. Lance's debut in 2017 for Williams was overshadowed by constant criticism that he was only there because of his dad's deep pockets. And when the team began underperforming, the critics grew louder. He may have bagged a podium in Baku, but many fans and media questioned if he would have gotten there on merit alone. Behind the scenes, it's clear that Lance's journey to F1 wasn't as simple as handing over a check. From karting as a young kid to moving into single-seater racing, he did show flashes of talent. But no matter how many trophies you have from Junior Series, in F1, you're judged differently, especially when your dad is the boss. Number 9. Consistency. Sure, there were highlights, like his incredible qualifying in Monza, where he started second on the grid, or that memorable podium in Azerbaijan. But the problem is, for every high, there's been a low. In 2018, when he moved from Williams to Racing Point, now Aston Martin, many thought it was his chance to shine. However, the shadow of inconsistency loomed large. In one race, Lance would be brilliant, showcasing genuine pace, and in the next, he'd be trailing far behind his teammate. Being fast occasionally isn't enough to silence the critics. Lance found himself frequently outperformed by his teammates. First Felipe Massa, then the more experienced Sergio Perez. Even in his best moments, the F1 paddock constantly questioned whether he had the consistency to truly compete with the sport's elite. Perhaps if he had known earlier how critical it was to maintain a steady performance, he might have approached his career differently. Number 8. Formula One. Isn't a fairy tale. From the outside, Lance's story might seem like a dream come true. Billionaire dad, driving fast cars, and a ticket to Formula One. But once inside the sport, Lance probably realized pretty quickly that Formula One is anything but a fairy tale. In reality, F1 is a cutthroat world where even your best efforts can be overshadowed by team politics, car performance, and pure luck. In 2019, when his father bought Force India, now Aston Martin, Lance's career took another twist, but it didn't come with the fairy tale ending. Being in a team that's constantly under scrutiny can be exhausting, and Lance's struggles with consistency and pressure have been well documented. If he had known just how unforgiving the F1 world could be, maybe he would have prepared himself for the mental battles as much as the physical ones. Number 7. Your teammates are your toughest competitors. Lance's teammates haven't exactly made his life easy in F1. One of the biggest things Lance probably wishes he knew early on is just how fierce the intra-team competition can be. In his first season, Lance was paired with the experienced Felipe Massa, and the difference in pace was evident. But things didn't get any easier when he moved to Racing Point, where Sergio Perez, a seasoned driver known for his consistency and racecraft, regularly outclassed him both in qualifying and race results. In 2021, Lance faced an even bigger challenge, going head-to-head with four-time world champion Sebastian Vettel. And as if that wasn't enough, in 2023, Aston Martin brought in Fernando Alonso, one of the most ruthless competitors the sport has ever seen. Competing against drivers like Alonso or Vettel isn't just about speed, it's a psychological game too. Lance often found himself mentally beaten before even stepping into the car. Had he known how crucial the mental aspect of competing with world champions would be, maybe he could have taken steps earlier in his career to toughen up mentally. Number 6. Mistakes stick with you. If there's one thing Lance wishes he'd known, it's that mistakes in F1 stick with you like glue. In a sport where reputations are built and destroyed within seconds, every crash, every bad call, and every on-track incident is remembered forever. Lance has had more than his fair share of mishaps. Who could forget his massive crash at the 2020 Tuscan Grand Prix, or the embarrassing incident in Singapore 2023, where he crashed so badly during qualifying that he had to sit out the race entirely? Asterisk. But it's not just the crashes that stick with you in F1, it's how you react to them. Lance's infamous radio meltdowns, where frustration boiled over, have been widely circulated online. Number 5. The media will build you up, then tear you down. One of the biggest lessons Lance Stroll probably wishes he had learned before entering F1 is how fickle the media can be. Early in his career, when he landed his first podium at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in 2017, the media was quick to praise him. For a moment, it seemed like Lance had finally silenced the critics. Headlines talked about his bright future and how he was defying the odds, but as quickly as the praise came, so did the criticism. In the same year, his poor performances overshadowed the podium, with critics latching onto every mistake he made. Number 4. Don't underestimate the power of fan opinion. In F1, the fans are vocal, extremely vocal. If there's one thing Lance underestimated, it's how much fan opinion can affect your career. From the moment he stepped into the sport, there were fans who saw him as a symbol of everything wrong with modern Formula One. Too much money, too little meritocracy. F1 fans are passionate, and they don't hold back when it comes to sharing their opinions on social media or in the stands. And for Lance, that opinion has been largely negative. Despite his achievements, like his podiums and strong qualifying performances, the overwhelming narrative from fans has been critical. Many see him as the ultimate pay driver, someone who is only in the sport because of his father's wealth. No matter how well Lance performs on occasion, the comment sections are filled with doubts, with many questioning why he still has a seat in F1. Whether it's memes making fun of his crashes or jokes about his relationship with his father, the online F1 community has been brutal. Number 3. The importance of mental strength. Formula One isn't just about physical skill, it's a mental game as much as anything. Lance learned this the hard way. The pressure in F1 is immense, and when you're constantly being criticized for being a pay driver, that pressure only increases. Mental strength is what separates good drivers from great ones, and Lance has had his struggles in that department. In 2023, after another difficult weekend, we saw Lance's frustrations boil over when he shoved his trainer in anger after a poor qualifying session. It wasn't just a bad look, it was a sign that the pressure was getting to him. Throughout his career, Lance has faced intense scrutiny, and there's no doubt that it has affected him mentally. Competing against drivers like Sebastian Vettel and Fernando Alonso, both of whom are known for their mental resilience, must have been challenging. The constant comparisons, the high expectations, and the endless stream of criticism would wear anyone down. Asterisk. If Lance had understood just how important mental toughness would be in F1, he might have approached his career differently. Developing a strong mindset, especially in the face of constant negativity, is essential in a sport like Formula One. Number 2. Injuries can happen, and they hurt your performance. One of the most recent lessons Lance learned the hard way is that injuries can happen when you least expect them, and they can have a lasting impact on your performance. Just before the 2023 season kicked off, Lance had a cycling accident during his training in Spain. The crash left him with broken wrists and a broken toe, and it looked like he was going to miss the opening races of the season. To his credit, Lance recovered quickly and managed to race in Bahrain just 2 weeks after the accident. He fought through the pain and finished a respectable 6th, but it was clear that the injury affected his performance. In F1, every tiny detail matters, and even the smallest injury can throw off your entire rhythm. While Lance pushed through the physical pain, the long-term effects of the injury seemed to linger throughout the season. His performances were inconsistent, and he struggled to keep up with his teammate Fernando Alonso, who was having one of his strongest seasons in years. If Lance had known how much an injury could derail his progress, perhaps he would have approached his off-track training differently. Injuries are a part of any sport, but in Formula One, where reflexes and precision are everything, Even a slight dip in performance can have significant consequences. Lance's experience with injury is a reminder that staying healthy and fit is crucial in a sport where the margins for error are razor thin. Number 1. Having the best car doesn't guarantee success. When Lance moved to Aston Martin, many expected that with a top-tier car, he would be able to silence his critics once and for all. And for a while, it seemed like that might happen. The 2020 Racing Point, nicknamed the Pink Mercedes, was incredibly competitive, and Lance even scored pole position in Turkey in tricky wet conditions. But as we've seen time and time again in F1, having a fast car doesn't guarantee success. In 2023, Aston Martin came out of the gates strong, with Fernando Alonso racking up podiums. But while Alonso flourished, Lance struggled to capitalize on the car's potential. Despite having the machinery to compete at the front, Lance found himself stuck in the midfield. His lack of consistency and inability to maximize the car's performance became glaring issues. In a sport like F1, having the best car isn't enough. You need to extract every ounce of performance from it, race after race. Lance's experience at Aston Martin highlights a harsh reality of F1. The car can only take you so far. Ultimately, the driver has to deliver, and in Lance's case, he hasn't been able to match the pace of his world champion teammates. It's a lesson he's learned the hard way. Even with the right equipment, success in Formula One is never guaranteed. So, there you have it. 10 things Lance Stroll wishes he knew before he started racing. From the brutal realities of media scrutiny and fan opinion, to the importance of consistency, mental strength, and maximizing performance, Lance's journey in Formula One has been far from smooth. But it's also a reminder that F1 is one of the toughest sports in the world, where even the best drivers face challenges. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Does Lance deserve his seat in Formula One? Or has he been riding the wave of his father's fortune for too long? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're enjoying the F1 drama, make sure to stick around for more. We've got plenty more to cover this season.